Hey, welcome back. And first we'll show the lap, and then we will talk about all the booby traps that Sebring has to offer. Okay, so navigating your way around Sebring, the first booby trap you're going to have to deal with is obviously turn 1, which is avoiding both walls while at the same time trying to maximise speed and exit. My brake marker is a dark line just on the right there. The next set of corners are extremely difficult and do require like laser accuracy. Because this isn't iRacing where you can be quite aggressive, you have to avoid the curbs at all costs because they unsettle the car quite a bit. The final left is a monumentous booby trap because it's so much understeer if you get it wrong. So even though you have to set the corner up by being on the right side, don't get too greedy and set yourself up too much because it will cost you. Next up is the easiest part of the track, the hairpin. Pretty standard really, brake at the 400 meter mark. Should be quite simple, turn in, the car rotates quite well especially on throttle, so just bang that one out. Okay, so the next right hander is another slide booby trap. Again, you have to be really accurate and you have to hit the apex all the time. If you don't, you just go wide and it costs you on the next corner to the left. Now if you manage to maneuver your way around this corner quite well, you then lead you up to the most deceiving, slyest booby trap of the entire track. This corner has the most understeer I've ever seen, so be careful and turn in slightly earlier. Now, Le Mans coming up isn't a difficult part of the track, you can execute it quite easily. The only problem you'll have is to not be too greedy, because you can carry a lot of speed, but it can bite you in the arse too. And will ultimately cost you coming out of the exit, which is quite difficult to execute if you're being greedy everywhere else. Here I just about get away with it, I do just run a little bit wide there, so it cost me a little bit of time, but didn't completely ruin the lap, so it's okay. So for the final claymore of the track to dodge, now I take this corner by going straight at 400, turn at 300 and brake at 200, while still keeping within the white lines on the outside to the left. Now you have to be careful with all those bumps as to when you get back onto the throttle, but at the same time you will get a lot of rotation with the car, so you do have to get on the throttle just a little bit earlier than what you might think. There you have it, mate. A lap of Sebring in the BMW M8. I mean, despite all those bombs you have to dodge, I do really like this track. Like, it is a It's a very difficult track to execute. You do have to be very accurate, especially in the first sector, and a few bits in the middle sector as well. It's just, and the final corner, like there's no getting away from it. If you're a millimeter off or anything's wrong, it will cost you a lot of time. You can see there going around the curbs there. It's not like in iRacing where you can be quite aggressive over those curbs. You have to be very gentle with the steering and very accurate to make sure you get around that sector really fast. The hairpin, like I said, it's nothing too major. But yeah, it's a bit weird coming back to the rFactor 2 version. This is actually, it feels a little bit more dangerous than the iRacing one, to be honest. Like I said, the curbs in these cars, the cars don't handle them the same way as they do in iRacing. So it's just, you're just not going to get away with it, and the feeling of understeer as well in some of these corners, which I still do get on the iRacing version, it just feels more severe here. So you've got that to deal with as well. But yeah, this week we've got the VEC 12 hours of Sebring. So this is just some practice, getting prepared for that. This is like maybe my first 20 laps or something like that. Getting used to the car. It's been a while since I've actually driven rFactor 2, so it takes me a little bit of time to acclimatise myself to the different physics than that of iRacing's. Also being a big difference in the way the tyres behave. I feel like in iRacing, even though you do, over time you will lose grip in the tyres of the car, I feel like from the start of your stint to the very end, I can still get to within half a second. I'd say half a second to your best lap time. Whereas in rFactor 2, you'll get like maybe 3 to 5 laps of like good grip, and then all of a sudden it sort of like drops off quite a bit. So now all of a sudden you're now half a second to a second slower, and then 1.5 seconds slower, maybe 15 to 20 laps in. But then it sort of gets a little bit better towards the end, being like maybe a second down or something like that. But it does drop off quite a bit. There is a lot of movement in the grip available to you as the stint goes on. The lap time I did here was a 57.87, something like that, which is not too bad. It's the best I've done on this track so far in the GTEs, but it's still quite a ways off in terms of the competition. I mean, in this server, because they have like live timings on it, I think the best lap time is a 56.7. So there's still a second here to find. So it's not going to be easy, but at the same time, I mean, there's definitely can be some improvements, but I feel like if I was to drive this as perfect as I could now, there'll probably be another 2 to 3 attempts in terms of my skill level. But getting a 56.6 is, that's just not going to happen for me. But I'm happy where I am with this now. Also, be careful there. It's very easy to get a invalid lap running a little bit wide there to set yourself up for that final right-hander out of Le Mans. But yeah, man. Anyway, let me leave you guys to it, man. Thanks for stopping by to watch. I don't get to do many rFactor 2 videos, seeing as I only have like one race a month with them. But I do really love the sim, and once I actually do get some time into it, I do love the physics and the way the car drives and the graphics and everything like that. So yeah, man, looking forward to this weekend, and hopefully some of you guys will drop by into the stream just to say hi, and I will catch you guys later.